Now, the City of Johannesburg will have a new mayor before the end of August. That's according to the Johannesburg ANC. The Metro has been chopping and changing mayors since the governing party lost its majority in 2016, often leading to political instability in council. Former Mayor Dr Mpho Phalatse joins me for more on this conversation. Dr Phalatse, a very happy Women's Day to you, and thank you for joining us this evening. Dr Phalatse, let's just start off by, how's life beyond and post being the mayor of the City of Gold?
I'm struggling to hear you. I'm not sure what's happening with the sound. Can we just try and improve it, please?
Okay, I'm going to try and repeat that question for you. Hopefully you can hear me better now. I was just asking, how's life post being the mayor of the City of Gold?
Well, it's been quite interesting. As you know, I've gone back to medical practice. I am now in 10 hospitals in Rustenburg, Johannesburg and Boksburg, working with a team of neurosurgeons on the one hand and vascular surgeons on the other hand. It's been quite exciting to get back into something I've done for so many years, and that prepared me for my life in politics, in fact. So going back to some of the things I missed about it, the great work ethic, the commitment, hard work, and team spirit that everybody brings into the work has been really great to experience again.
Also quite different, I'm assuming, as well. And as you're speaking about the great work ethic, I have to then bring things back to the City of Johannesburg. Now, you didn't have the smoothest of time then. You faced a couple of motions of no confidence as well. When you look at the city now and what's about to transpire, according to the Johannesburg ANC, that we will have another new mayor by the end of this month, if anything that they're saying is to go by, what are your thoughts about that?
Quite frustrating, firstly, as a resident of the city myself, to see such instability. But then again, depending who they bring in, this could be the answer that the city has been waiting for. The city needs not only stability, but also competent leadership with an actual plan, leadership that has the finger on the pulse, that knows exactly what needs to happen in the municipality and has a turnaround strategy. And I'm hoping that this is not just another move, but a move in a positive direction.
And speaking of the current mayor of the City of Johannesburg as well, Kabelo Gwamanda, from the start, it was a bumpy road with allegations of being involved in a Ponzi scheme that left the elderly people in the township in Soweto, particularly in Protea, left distressed as well. There was also the admittance from the Al-Jamaa party leader, Ghanief Hendricks, that he hadn't even seen Mayor Kabelo Gwamanda's CV prior to him being appointed the mayor of the City of Gold. And of course, also there were those allegations around his qualifications as well. Why was it so important as well for the residents to know all these things that are that the mayor was facing too?
Well, firstly, if the allegations against the mayor of criminality were true, then he had no business being the mayor in the first place and being trusted with such a huge role that involves managing and overseeing such huge budgets such as we see in the City of Johannesburg. So it was important that that matter be investigated. I'm still not satisfied that it was properly investigated. I do feel like it was kicked under the carpet. I did get quite intimately involved with that matter, and I met with a few of the complainants and I saw the evidence, and I'm not sure what happened, but he continued to be mayor nonetheless. The role of mayor is a very complex role. The educational qualifications of a mayor also very important, because you want to know that as the CEO of the city, the mayor is capable of managing very complex ecosystems, that they've got some managerial experience or some leadership experience, they've been tried and tested, and they would be able to drive the city forward, particularly a city like Johannesburg, which has been distressed for some time and really needs decisive action to turn it around. It was quite disappointing to learn that Al-Jamaa had just passed the mayor through without doing proper due diligence as to his qualifications and fitness for that office.
And just on that as well, speaking of the role of a mayor as well, what kind of skills should a mayor have?
There are no prescribed skills by law. that a mayor should have. But if you look at the roles and responsibilities, you can deduce from that what sort of skills a mayor should have. A mayor is the chief executive of the municipality. Mayor is responsible for the executive arm of the municipality. In other words, they oversee the work of the administration. That's the city manager, all the heads of various departments and various entities. All those people are technocrats. They're brought into those positions through rigorous recruitment processes, and they need to be led by someone who can engage at their level and who can provide leadership to them, for starters. A mayor needs to ensure that policies are developed and that policies are implemented within a municipality. The policy development process is a very complicated process. It requires a certain level of educational qualification, I would say, to be able to provide the proper leadership to ensure that policies that talk to the problems on the ground are developed and to ensure that those policies are implemented. The mayor also needs to provide leadership at various levels. They need to provide leadership within the council. They appoint the members of mayoral committee. Those members of mayoral committee oversee various portfolios that have within them departments and entities. The mayor needs to be able to provide leadership to those MMCs and ensure that they are delivering on their mandate. The mayor also needs to lead the interface with the legislative arm of council, which is led by the Speaker of Council, and ensure a smooth interface between those two arms of council. The mayor also needs to lead intergovernmental relations. So outside of just the municipality, they need to be able to engage with the province as well as national government. I remember in our time, we engaged a lot with the National Treasury, as well as various ministers where we had challenges within the municipality. And all of that, you can imagine how complex the work is. I'm not even mentioning the politics of having to provide leadership within a very complex political ecosystem where you have to liaise with all political parties, whether in government or in opposition, ensure that their voice is carried in the planning processes of the city, as well as the budgeting process of the city, and of course, external stakeholders, which are the most important, our residents and various other stakeholders, whether civil society or business. A very, very demanding task of managing and leading a very complex ecosystem. I would say that you need a level of education and some experience in leadership and management to be able to do that well.
And to those just playing devil's advocate here, Hussein, the mayor has also been quoted saying things along this line too, to say that he's not the first politician who doesn't have a postgraduate or a doctorate like yourself or is a medical doctor. What about those who are ministers right now running national departments and all they have is a matric too?
Well, it is my position that we should always strive to improve ourselves educationally, because we can give a better version of ourselves to the residents and citizens that we serve, whether at local government level, provincial or national level. That'll always be my position.
Yeah. And as a mayor of the city, I mean, as a resident as well of the city of Johannesburg, but also being a former mayor as well, how would you describe Mayor Kabelo Kwamanda's tenure so far?
Well, all I know is that we have had water outages, endless electricity outages. The city is dirty. There seems to be no concrete plan to turn the situation in the city around. And, you know, we inherited an ailing city even back then in 2021, but we certainly had a plan and we were well on our way to fixing a lot of those issues. I do feel that a lot of our plans have fallen through the cracks. There has not been follow through. I don't see new plans that have replaced those ones. It does seem as though the focus has shifted away from service delivery and turning around an ailing city.
And also considering that before Mayor Kabelo Kwamanda, we also had another mayor, Thapelo, from Al Jamaa as well. What are the chances that the ANC and the political parties in the city of Johannesburg will select a mayor that is not from one of their caucuses, but somebody who perhaps is the most fit and may not come from a smaller party or the African National Congress or the DA?
Well, there's a lot of factors at play, a lot of negotiations that span all three tiers of government. A lot of the talks are really at a national level amongst political party leaders, and it's very difficult to say which way things will swing. However, we continue to hope that our leaders in the various political parties will have the best interest of our residents in mind.
Your hopes, 2026, the next local government elections?
We've had a very rough 5 years. I'll say by the year 2026, our residents would have learned a thing or two about how local government works. I do believe that between now and then, a lot of education needs to happen amongst communities so that voters can use their votes more wisely. I do believe we need a deciding vote, really a clear mandate where one trusted political party can provide leadership in order to turn the city around. We will likely end up with a coalition. That is what the trajectory is telling us, even if we look at what's happening at a national level now and in the various provinces. But I do hope that we can have an educated electorate that will really put their vote where it counts most and where it can work in their favor.
And what are the chances, Dr. Phalatse, that you will make a return and perhaps put your hand up for the job?
Well, I don't know. It's too early to say. As I've always said, I'll always be available to serve my community. I'm not in a position to say I've made that decision yet. I'm still transitioning, as you can imagine, into the medical space, growing myself, redeveloping myself in that space and ensuring that I stabilize things on the home front as well. Let's see what happens between now and 2026. Anything is possible.
Anything really is possible. Thank you so much for your time. And in the beginning of the interview, I was just wishing you a happy Women's Day.
Oh, thank you so much. And to you too. I hope you had a good one.
Thank you very much.